16 nationally, and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33, and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yay, yay!
Yeah, wanna know what it's like? Baby, show me what it's like. I don't really got no tights. I just wanna f*** all night. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Baby, I need to know. I just been fantasizing, and we got a lot of time. Baby, come throw the pipe. Gotta know what it's like. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Baby, I need to know. What's your size? Add, subtract, divide. Daddy don't throw no curves. Hold up, I'm going wide. We could just start at 10, then we could go to 5. I don't play with my pen. I mean what I write, yeah, yeah.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm clocked in, front row, ready to go. So tonight, we're getting into sermons that turn shady, stars getting real, and a whole lot of folks testing faith and fame in the same breath. But before we get into all of that, we've been Libra ganging all month. We're continuing on. We only got a couple more days. And today is loaded as far as birthdays go. First of all, shout out to Doja Cat. Y'all know I love me some Doja Cat. It's also Kim Kardashian's 45th birthday. It's Amber Rose's birthday, if y'all care. Yeah, they share the same birthday. And coming up, I have some more Libra Gang news. But since we're talking about Kim Kardashian and celebrating her 45th, you know, Kim's net worth allegedly remains somewhere near $1.7 billion, according to Forbes last year, right? Fueled largely by skims. And there continues to be rumors that there's an IPO push for the brand out there, okay? So Kim has been gently speaking out about Kanye and parenting and co-parenting. She hasn't shaded Kanye like I'm sure she could. So, you know, I want us to remember all that. Andy's like, good. Yeah, good. I'm just saying, you know, people have a lot of smoke for Kim, but give her grace when you know that a lot of people, when faced with some of the things that Ye has said and done, would be wilding out right now. Right? Right. So shout out to Kim K. So tonight we are talking Bishop Marvin Winans, his pulpit moment going viral. We got questions and a response from Fred Hammond that might just change your mind. We're also talking about Kevin McCall's Raw Emotion. If you're unfamiliar with Kevin, he's an artist, songwriter, father to Eva Marcel's oldest daughter, Marley. He wrote a lot of the hits from Chris Brown's early mixtape fame, some of those cuts, and he also wrote a lot on the Fame album, combining the two. Deuces, a whole lot. We'll get into that. And we're going to talk about, since it's the start of the season, we've been seeing a lot of athletes jumping in the podcast game. But the number one and really the OG NBA blogger was Gilbert Arenas. Recently, some details have been revealed about his deal with a sports betting company, and some people are saying Gil lost his mind. So we'll get into that. Now, I mentioned that it's a lot of Libra ganging going on, and over the weekend, one of the Libra brethren celebrated their birthday. 21 Savage had an Apollo-themed birthday. It's showtime at the Apollo in Atlanta, right? Turning up. And the party was pure 90s nostalgia. He had Escape performing, dressed up like they were in their original video for Just Kicking It. He also had Keisha Cole performing. Keisha came dressed like Aaliyah from the Tommy Hilfiger ads back in the day. Keith Sweat hit the stage, Pleasure P, and 21 himself, he was giving Jodeci vibes in the leather, and 21 Savage loves some R&B, so he was out there trying to hit those Jodeci notes. It was fun. Those notes, I don't know. Like, it was a party that looked like BET in 1998, and I feel that. I like that. I love a good theme party, so shout out to him. And also, speaking of the 90s, Diddy has filed an appeal for his sentencing. There have been rumors going around that Trump could potentially be providing clemency for Diddy this week even, and that is per TMZ, right? So separately, Diddy's attorney, Alexandra Shapiro, filed appeal challenges to his convictions. Excuse me. And in a separate interaction, the White House has doubled down, denying a TMZ report claiming that Trump was considering clemency. They said that they stand by their story, called it false, and are focusing on $200 million bathroom construction. So there you go. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into what Marvin Winans had to say to one of his parishioners, plus more trending topics and headlines.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MAJOR25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MAJOR25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MAJOR25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
On Thursday evening, November 6th, you're invited to the next KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Town Hall meeting. This time, we're convening at Victory Bible Church, 1497 North Hill Avenue in Pasadena. The town hall will once again be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580 from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, November 6th. But you're invited to join us in person for this urgent and necessary community conversation. The theme for this Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire Town Hall is understanding the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Fund. The primary focus of this gathering is to inform residents about Southern California Edison's newly launched Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program and provide clarity on eligibility and the claims process. There are plenty of questions to be asked, and only KBLA Talk 1580 has the right moderators to ask the tough questions, the right stakeholders and community activists to share their insights, and we have confirmed the participation of corporate executives from Southern California Edison to answer our queries. So be sure to join us at Victory Bible Church in Pasadena, 1497 North Hill Avenue on Thursday, November 6th. The event is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. That's KBLA1580.com. Light refreshments will be served immediately following the live town hall. This KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Rising Town Hall is brought to you by Quinn Emanuel Trial Lawyers and the Black Freedom Fund.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
White diamonds, 2 a.m. she wildin'. She sick, got they stomach in her comments. What school you went to? Gardena, Compton, Westchester, King, Drew, did we function? Lil, what that dog give me, that's on cup. All my kids, I sock you up. Have you ever took a fade and ran 3 more back to back? Oh, you haven't? Then shut the up and keep it rap. I'm from the land. Don't say you hate LA when you don't travel past the 10. Am I tripping? Yes, I am. Meditate over some money. I see Franklin, I find Van.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. You already know what this is. Coming up this Friday, Drake versus Kendrick Part 4. Dodgers versus Toronto Blue Jays. You know what it is over here. West, y'all. LA all day. We're going back to back, ironically.
Jill.
Yes.
I want Drake to perform game 1.
He should.
It's his birthday, too. Why not?
Absolutely should. My God, the stars are lining up. Go do that, Drake.
I mean, look, I'll say it like this. I know last year, Ice Cube did his thing, held it down for L.A., right?
We got to have Kendrick roll it out.
New York wasn't happy with Fat Joe. So I'm just saying, why not run it back? Kendrick, you got to hold it down. You did Dodger Blue already. It's only right. And they going against Toronto. But if I'm Drake, though, low-key, MLB, somebody got to call. They got to make something happen. Just perform.
They really do. Shout out to that. Big ups to that. All right, listen, you know how this goes down. 800-920-1580. That's the number to call if you want to get in on this conversation. Of course, you can join us on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. You can download the app or hit us up in the YouTube chat. Because they be chatting. They're already chatting. As a matter of fact, I just saw, because you know what else today is, right? This is in the top 5 of holidays. Hello, I don't know why you're confused, Andy. What did I come in there and ask you about before the show started?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a little kid again. Welcome back, NBA. Welcome back, the NBA on NBC.
Oh, man, it's beautiful.
Now, right now, the Houston Rockets and Oklahoma City Thunder are battling it out.
63-55, Houston is up.
Shout out to the Rockets.
And let's not forget.
KD,
back in OKC. With them raising the banner.
Yeah. But KD got 2 rings, so I'm sure he's like, I'm cool.
Nah, they don't count.
They count.
They count.
Don't do KD like that.
I'm sorry. When we talking about legacy, they going to look at them titles and look like,
That's the same thing Phil
cheated.
Jackson said about the Spurs title during the lockout season. What
99?
was it, 98, 99? Yeah. He said there would always be an asterisk by the Spurs title. People don't even talk about that anymore.
Exactly.
The asterisk, not the title, because that was Tim Duncan's first title, and they throw that up. Well, Tim Duncan, really, he and Kobe, which Tim is Tim. That's my Taurus brother. Tim did his thing, no doubt, but dog.
I mean, they did respect that 03 title more than that 99 title, though, because it was a full season.
Yeah.
So, hey, if the Spurs gonna get it, because if the Lakers gonna get it for 2020, the Spurs can get it too.
Right. So I mean, but that's my point. That you're saying KD's 2 titles didn't count. They count.
But you can't compare a difference in location to a championship won in a lockout season. This man had the power to stay where he was at. You had this team beat 3-1. You could have ran it back. But I get it. Russell Westbrook, you wasn't too fond of him. I get it. Yeah, you're a champion, but people are still going to look at them titles and be like, yeah, you cheated, bruh.
Possibly. Shout out to the Lakers. They'll be taking on the Warriors at 7 p.m. We will be discussing Michael Jordan's halftime appearance tomorrow, of course, you know. And, oh, you got it. You got the Hollywood ending? We talked about that last night, right? And actually, later this week, we're going to have another sports writer coming in. Not that one, another sports writer who's written a different type of book, this time on Tupac. So we'll talk a little Lakers, Showtime Lakers, Kobe Shaq Lakers, and Tupac later this week. All right, so, you know, religion, I should say, not even religion, but the church specifically, Christianity, people have questions about the business aspect of Christianity, right? And sometimes there are videos that come out of certain moments, and it's something that people can point to, say, this right there, this is an example of why I don't fool with y'all. One of many, perhaps, right? So Bishop Marvin Winans of the famous Winans family, he's currently under fire, after a viral clip has surfaced showing him calling out a woman in front of the entire congregation at Perfecting Church in Detroit because he was collecting offerings of $2,000 and she came with $1,250 to the front. All right. It was the church's annual giving day, and he asked members to donate $2,000. It was a 1-in-1, $1,000 from you, and you get someone else to input another $1,000, right? He publicly scolded her mid-sentence when she walked up. And he said, that's not what I asked for. So the video is going around on TikTok, Instagram, all of the things. 2 million views I saw on at least one. You know, it's out there. However, Fred Hammond came behind and posted a longer clip of the interaction. And what it contained was Bishop Marvin Winans, giving instructions on how people should approach the pulpit with their offering. He wanted to highlight initially the 1-in-1s. He gave instructions on what people were to do and how they were to introduce if their donation was less than $2,000, and they were to be brought up at a separate time. So with that information, does that change your mind about the interaction that we're about to listen to? Ready? Yeah.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of Perfecting Church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
So we had as someone mentioned in the chat, the lock the doors sermon, right? We had the sermon about the men in the church and what they were wearing to service, people in general, but this particular one was targeted at men especially. Do people still feel like church is welcoming to all? And the other side of that is, should they and are they, one, and this is talking about on the structure, the rules, however, because as I said, he gave instructions about how the order that people should come to the pulpit. Now, she didn't follow that, but do we have to speak to her in that manner, right? I don't know. Are these rules and boundaries, and we are just accustomed to our attitude at this point is we can do whatever we like, and a little structure is lacking from the mix, and that is why people are rebelling so hard? Or is it just a case of the church misusing their authority, so to speak? Andy?
Christianity is in a horrible place right now. In a lot of ways, I feel like Christianity has been in a horrible place for the past at least 25 years. I'm sure even longer than that. I don't see any other faiths where you see discretions like this. I don't see anything in the, what do you call it, the Islamic mosque, or I don't know what the building is for the Buddhists. You don't see stuff like this. These are just bad representations of what Jesus Christ was all about. And we got the rise in white nationalism and stuff, whatever term they used, white folks in their version of Christianity. It's just a bad look on Christianity. I don't blame anybody who wants to, turn away from the church, because our representatives are just representing horrible. And this is not a good look. Regardless of whatever rules and regulations that you had in the word, it says you're supposed to be a cheerful giver and give what you can, homie. So if I got 2 pennies and some lint, bro, you better accept that. Where's your humility, homie?
So he's saying not that they wouldn't accept it, but that she didn't follow the order that was put out, right? So it should be noted that the church purportedly brings in millions annually from tithes, and much like Andy said, the optics of a millionaire pastor checking a woman in public for being $800 short, which technically was just about the spectacle, which is something that has long been debated as far as black churches being both empowering and a place for some spectacle. Public shaming for donations kind of probably hits different in 2025 with all of the things that we are going through, some of which Andy listed out. You add in the economy and everything else. Transparency and spirituality and accountability all should go hand in hand, right? I think so. Andy?
Public shaming in the church is horrible. I've experienced it. I've seen it happen. It's horrible. That's all I gotta say. You got me upset about that.
I don't want Andy upset. It's birthday week. I don't know. It felt like a tone deaf move, in a time of inflation, distrust of the mega church system anyway. And I don't know. I just feel like, again, I understand maybe you have your protocol. I understand that sometimes it feels like people don't want to add structure to things. But again, in that manner and in the way that it was handled, doesn't make people feel very nice at all. So we have a caller on the line, Fahima from DC. Fahima, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Greetings, Jill. And Marvin Winans represents Marvin Winans and his church. He doesn't represent all churches because, as you know, the black church are Baptist, Methodist, Episcopalian, Pentecostal, etc. And Howard University Rankin Chapel, we have a QR code at the back of the program, and people use the QR code to make donations to Rankin Chapel. And people like Dr. Cornel West and Michael Eric Dyson, who was a speaker this past Sunday, and they come and they bring money. So Marvin Winans represents himself. Clefro Dollar represents himself, and Jamal Bryant, who has my stamp of approval, represents himself. He's not characteristic of all of the black church experience. He just represents himself. And I thought what he did was deplorable. Even though the woman wasn't following instructions, he could have been diplomatic, and I would have put a stamp payment on my check after the way he talked to me.
I know that's right. I heard that. Thank you, as always, Fahima, for adding to the conversation. So, Andy?
This idea about following instructions is just throwing me off. I don't care about some instructions about how much I'm supposed to pay you and all other type of stuff. Once again, man, get back into your word. And like you said, it is a spectacle. I remember being in church one time, you feel me? And, you go up to the altar or whatever, they pray for you. And I used to always wonder as a kid, man, how all of a sudden they put their hand on you, all of a sudden you just fall.
So, some people believe they're taken over by the Holy Spirit. They talk in tongues, things like that.
It's all for show. Just know the pastor was over here trying to push me. He was over here pushing me. Like, boy, if you don't fall. I was like, I ain't falling on me.
One Easter, I had a bad experience at a church after the altar call when people started speaking in tongues. So I don't know. But I do believe people become overcome with the word or the feeling like some other things. And, I don't know if it causes them to speak in tongues, but I do believe, they become overcome with emotion and stuff. So we'll see. Let me get to some of these comments in the chat. EA says, that was cringe. He sounds like Reverend Seymour Cash. Morris Phillips says, churches are private businesses first. Morris Phillips also says, Catholics got legacy with stuff. With X, too. And Forrest Harrison says, congregation, take out your hymn books to be better have my money. And Maurice Guy says, what they said in Car Wash, talking like a pimp. Well, there's certainly some image rehabbing that they might want to consider going on. And then Royal Jenkins added, I saw Marvin Winans singing at the RNC for Mitt Romney in 2012. Well, 2012, I'm going to give people a slight pass because it was pre the drama. Things really kicked off towards the end of President Obama's presidency when the reaction started. But a conversation for another day. When we come forward, we're going to get into Kevin McCall's emotional breakdown and his revelations about where he stands currently. All of that and more. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will show no shame. Spit it right from the heart. Cause it's right from the start. You held me down and ain't nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gonna find. It's all in time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. North Carolina Senate Republicans have advanced a redistricting plan that could give the GOP another U.S. House seat by redrawing a majority black district.
You are rigging the maps to hurt black people.
The measure passed 25-20 along party lines despite public opposition and now heads to a final Senate vote. Black New Jersey Congresswoman LaMonica McIver appeared in court for a pretrial hearing on federal assault charges tied to a May 9th incident during Black Newark Mayor Ross Baraka's arrest. Her lawyers are asking the judge to dismiss the case ahead of her November 10th trial. And Sean Diddy Combs' legal team has filed an appeal of his conviction and 4-year prison sentence. The 55-year-old was found guilty in July on prostitution-related charges, but cleared of racketeering and sex trafficking. His lawyers want him placed at a low-security prison in New Jersey, while TMZ reports President Trump may consider commuting his sentence this week. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
We're starting in Ontario on the 10 westbound at the 15. Westbound lanes remain off limits. We're just waiting for Caltrans and the Highway Patrol to get those lanes reopened. They said they're working on it and that they will be open shortly, but right now there is no traffic getting through on that 10 westbound. The drive is still slow away from Citrus Avenue. We're also heading out to the drive as you make your way along the 5 in Irvine. Northbound slowing, leaving the 133 all the way to Harbor in Anaheim, and Santa Monica East 10 loading up from Cloverfield to the 5 in Boyle Heights.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Veteran guard Gabe Benson will be in the starting lineup tonight for the Lakers to replace LeBron James. LeBron will miss the Lakers' regular season opener against Golden State at Crypto.com. A sciatic nerve injury will keep the NBA's all-time leading scorer on the sidelines for 3 to 4 weeks. Benson started 11 games for the Lakers last season. Las Vegas oddsmakers are listing the Dodgers as heavy favorites to beat Toronto in the World Series. The Dodgers are trying to become the first Major League team to win back-to-back World Series since the Yankees did it in 2000. Game 1 is Friday night in Toronto. Of the 5 black head coaches in the NFL, Aaron Glenn of the New York Jets is still the only one without a win this season. Glenn is 0-7 in his first year with the Jets. Todd Bowles of Tampa Bay is 5-2. Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin is 4-2. Raheem Morris of Atlanta is 3-3. Houston's D'Amico Ryan is 2-4. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yeah.
September is World Alzheimer's Month, a time to shine a light on a public health crisis that deeply impacts black families. 1 in 5 black adults ages 70 and older is living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD, and the risk is twice as high compared to white adults. But AD isn't just forgetting a name or losing track of time. Signs of early AD could be repeating questions, missing appointments, or struggling with bills and daily tasks. These things aren't a normal part of aging. Here's the good news. Treatments are available that may help if AD is diagnosed early. If you notice changes in memory or daily routines, whether in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatalsearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com to learn more about the signs and symptoms and a potential treatment option. This message is brought to you by AZI.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say bye-bye to her, yeah. Look, my shorty always on some bull like Chicago, so I flip that and the index finger follow. Deuces, we ain't got no future in tomorrow. I'm a so it shouldn't be that hard to swallow. The other chick I'm with never complaining. She make me wanna leave the one I'm with, Usher Raymond. Probably didn't register, don't trip, later on it will. Shorty full of drama like gangster, Grizzles. I finally noticed it finally hit me. Like Tina did Ike in the limo, it finally hit me. I got a new chick, and she ain't you. She Paula Patton thick, she give me deja vu. And all that attitude, I don't care about it. But all that I do for her, you gon' hear about it. Breezy rap, 2 up, 2 down, but I'm just putting 2 up, chucking up the deuce now.
I'm on some new, I'm chucking my deuces up to her. I'm moving on to something better, baby. No more trying to make it work. Make me wanna say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So if you were unfamiliar with Kevin McCall, there's your little dose, a reminder. This era for Chris Brown really saved his career. This came a couple of years after, 1 year, right? This was the release after the Rihanna incident, so 2010. It was a mixtape series. He dropped a bunch of them. Just flooded the market with music. And that's sort of what we've seen him continue to do independently. And it's worked out well for him. So Kevin McCall, as mentioned, he was once a chart-topping collaborator with Chris Brown and others. He also dated Eva Marcel of Real Housewives of Atlanta, America's Next Top Model, All the Queen's Men fame. And they have a daughter named Marley. And that situation has been tough. It played out publicly, a lot of it. There was a lot of back and forth, child support demands. Kevin spent 3 years in jail. Guess he's recently gotten out, right? And he was on the Back on Fig podcast, revealing that he's currently on EBT. That's food stamps, if y'all are unaware. And he said that, I guess per him, Chris Brown owes him about $25,000 for 4 songs. The 4 songs being Deuces being one. There's a couple of others that were on the mixtape that are still getting streams. Chris won a Grammy for some of the stuff related to Kevin's work, I think for the Fame album. And Kevin had some songs on there, right? And so basically, he pulled out his EBT card. He ended up in tears on this podcast talking about what he's been through and where he's been. Now, I can't play the clip because there was way too many bleep, 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 bleeps. You guys wouldn't hear it. So I'm just going to relay a little bit of what he was saying. He said that when he goes into stores, right, he has to hide his face like it's COVID because he's embarrassed and he gets asked questions about being on food stamps, right? He said that Chris owes him $25,000 in royalties from, Deuces and Strip. And that, his mental health isn't good. He talks about Eva getting at him for child support, which, for a lot of people, nobody's going to feel sympathy when you owe a lot of child support and you allegedly weren't too nice to the mom. But that is a separate conversation. Kevin McCall also produced No BS. That's a song. But You Be on That book? That was another joint. And so Kevin is just like, what do I got to do? He made 90 or whatever million on the Breezy Bowl tour. I'm on EBT. That's whack. It says my name. I had to go up there, right? He also shared an old clip of Chris Brown going off on him in the past. It was old. And basically, he's like, because obviously Kevin got some internal issues, right? I really hope that he goes and gets some therapy because it's apparent he's in pain. But when he posted this old video of Chris, he said, it's not always the dark-skinned guys, laughing out loud. But if you hate darkies, black men, you don't actually exist to matter to anyone, especially to me. This clip is to show the world all of what I've overcome. Now, Chris hasn't responded yet, but Chris is never one to pass up a clap back. But we'll see. We'll see. He might leave this just where it is. Young Thug jumped in with some comments, and he seems to want to assist Kevin. He said that he got the $25,000 for him, and he wants to help him out, take care of it for him, that he understands what it's like to go through some things. He said, I'll give you the $25K, and I know CB would too. He's a real one. So we'll see if this actually happens, but it's about money. It's about legacy. It's also a mirror to the industry's dark side, so to speak. Someone getting caught up, maybe, perhaps. It could be producer exploitation, if you feel that way. Right. Now, Kevin also mentioned that he sold his catalog because he needed money. He had to pay back child support, and he sold his catalog. Well, it's not his catalog, his publishing rights for only $500,000. He said that was taxed. He only got $250,000. He owed $200,000 in back child support, and he bought his mama a house. So I don't know. Is this a case of the industry loves you till it doesn't? Or is this a case of someone who is not taking accountability for what they've done to put themselves in this position? And maybe sometimes here's the reality. We can apologize, but sometimes even with that, it's too late. I don't know. Andy?
I think it's all of that you mentioned. I wonder what his contract situation was like, because I feel like that would obviously explain stuff. Did he mention anything about his contract with Chris Brown? Is he signed under him? Like, what was that all about?
He was signed to him, I believe, for a minute. But, at that point in time, it was kind of like guerrilla studios. People just, in that era, Chris had a studio in this place. I think Kevin had one. There was Tank had a place in this studio. There was a bunch of people. And, creatives just want to be creative sometimes. They want to work. Chris was on the outs. Kevin was trying to come up. So they were just in there kind of grinding it out.
Man, you just got to have your business on point, period, especially if you're a creative. Because as a creative, I feel like those individuals get their ideas stolen all the time.
Facts.
So you got to have your business on point before you even enter any form of industry, period.
But I mean, I think with Kevin too, there is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably, allegedly, probably, maybe some drug usage and some mental health issues. So
I also will say this too. If you're up and coming and you're that great, I know this sounds horrible to say, but don't have kids. Because it seems like every time, you're that rookie of the year in whatever industry you're in, you popping,
Child support hits.
And then you mad.
Listen,
stay strapped.
I say it all the time. These men act like they're the prize, but don't treat themselves like they are the prize and protect themselves as such. But that's a conversation for another day. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Open enrollment is your opportunity to choose a plan that connects you to Providence's comprehensive healthcare network. Choose a plan that includes Providence and gain access to a dedicated team of highly trained primary care physicians and specialists. From nationally recognized doctors and hospitals, Providence ensures quality care is always within reach. When you choose Providence, you choose after-hours care through our nurse advice line, urgent care, or virtual express care. You choose 24/7 access through the Providence mobile app to message providers, request prescription refills, schedule appointments, check lab results, and more. This open enrollment, prioritize your well-being with the peace of mind that comes from choosing a provider that values excellence and compassionate care. Don't just choose a plan. Choose a plan dedicated to health equity and community engagement. Choose a plan that believes health is a human right. Choose a plan that delivers exceptional care and cares about your community. Choose a plan that offers Providence. Visit chooseprovidence.org to learn more. The Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center proudly presents its 27th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase. Join us Saturday, October 25th at the Writers Guild Theater, 135 South Doheny Drive in Beverly Hills, California. The showcase will feature over 20 films by emerging black male filmmakers from across the country, ready to let their stories be seen, voices be heard, and visions come to life. Saturday, October 25th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tickets are on sale now on eventbrite.com. For more information, call 323-957-4656 or email bherc@bherc.org.
You ready?
You're invited to the KBLA Talk 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair on Saturday, November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Catch at Audubon Middle School in Leimert Park, 4120 11th Avenue. Join us for a day of health, healing, and community connection. There will be health screenings, immunizations, wellness information, a Catch Charter School recruitment fair, plus music and healthy snacks. And it's all free at the KBLA Talk 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair, Saturday, November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Audubon Middle School in Leimert Park, 4120 11th Avenue. Come out and bring the entire family. And if you have not yet checked out our KBLA Health and Wellness Hub, you should at KBLA1580.com. KBLA Talk 1580 thanks Catch Charter School, Prudential, Eastside, Cedar Sinai, and St. John's Community Health. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that a healthy community is a thriving community.
That's right, baby.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So as mentioned, you know, the chat is chatting, and they have some comments on all of this that's going on with Chris Brown. And, well, it's not really Chris Brown. Chris Brown is just the subject for Kevin McCall. Chris is saying nothing. Urban Spinster says 25,000 total or per song. I think he's saying he just needs 25,000. He's just trying to get the money right. And she also mentioned that K-Mac's mental health has been poor for a very long time, and he has a mama wound. All very, very true. You know, that's why I say I hope that he can get some help, that he can talk to someone and get him on the right page, and maybe that will truly be the start to help to get him to where he wants to be, which seems to be acceptance from these people that he feels he grinded with, as well as obviously monetary pleasures, right? Not pleasures, but, you know, the funds, the money. Maurice says he needs to stop feeling sorry for himself and get back to writing hit songs. He says he has a bunch right now. He says he got what Chris needs, that he could give him that heat right now. I'm sure Chris is not trying to rock with that. So, you know, we'll see what happens. All right, let's get into, again, mentioned it is the start tonight of the NBA season. One of Michael Jordan's segments, at least, has already aired, where Mike revealed that he hasn't picked up a ball in almost 30 years, and he doesn't plan to. He has no desire to shoot hoops. He doesn't miss it. So there you go with that. We'll keep you updated. But so there's been a lot of talk over the past few years about Gilbert Arenas and his ascent in sports media as an independent media operation. You know, he has the studio built out in the basement of his house out there in Calabasas, and big money deals coming in for he and all his cast members, right? But recently, some fans are debating if his deal with Underdog Fantasy really makes Gilbert the boss that everyone has been giving him props for, or if it was just a bad move. Now, if you saw, Gil's Arena has recently been changed to just The Arena. Gil's Arena started on Gil's YouTube channel. He's putting his own money in. Then he came in with Underdog Fantasy, and they partnered together. They paid for the build out of the studio in his home. They paid him, I believe it was something like $1 for every new subscriber that came on, and 3 cents for, I can't remember the terms early on, but the terms were something like that at the beginning. And Gil built the channel up. The channel ownership is now 50-50. And fans are saying that you played yourself. You an employee now. You're not a boss. You're not really doing big business. And Gil is explaining that, one, their deal with Underdog is up next summer. He's going to be a free agent. And let's be real, Shannon Sharp, that is, never got the $100 million payday that was expected, that was coming after Cat Williams opened the portal on Club Shay Shay. We all know what happened to Shannon and what kind of derailed that, right? Now, Gilbert is not free of his own drama, as always. He was arrested recently in relation to an alleged gambling operation that he was allegedly running out of one of his homes. He claims the property was a rental property in Airbnb. He had nothing to do with it. He rented the space, blah, blah, blah. We'll see where that happened. But basically, what I can tell you is this. Season 2 of Gil's Arena, which started in about September of 2023. I can tell you that Gil, I'm not sure what Gil was being paid, but I just told you the setup that I think it was something like $1 million initially. Josiah, his co-host, also getting paid $1 million. The rotating cast members of the crew, so Kenyon Martin, Rashad McCants, Brandon Jennings, et cetera, they were getting paid $5,000 in appearance. So if they appeared on 4 shows for the week, that's $20,000 a week. So for the month, 20, 40, 60, 80, you do the math real quick. It's not that hard, right? So they were too getting close to $1 million a year in salary. And remember, I'm giving you numbers from about 3 or 4 seasons ago. They've since got raises and upgrades and things of that nature. So Gilbert is saying on his own, right, he could not afford to pay the show. People are upset because the NBA season is starting. Football is the biggest mover of sports and betting, and Gil's Arena, the football version, is on 4 days a week, but the basketball is only on twice a week. And they're saying, Gil, you let those people come in, they come in your house, trape through, skip down there shooting, and they telling you when you can be on. Gil's positioning is 100% of nothing is nothing. I wouldn't be able to pay my entire staff. Again, mind you, they were starting off at about $1 million each for Josiah and Gil, the 2 main hosts, and about $80,000 a month, depending upon maybe between $50,000 and $80,000 a month as far as payment goes for the appearances on the show. During this time frame, Gil has started 2 other YouTube channels, both of which have a minimum of, I think one has 250,000 subscribers. The one has over 100 or whatever. So that will be 3 channels, 2 that he owns outright, 1 that he owns 50-50 with Underdog Fantasy. And oh, by the way, he'll be a free agent this summer. He can walk away with all his production equipment and so on and so forth. Both Netflix and Amazon have been talking to Gil in addition to other individuals. So also a reminder that Gil's Arena, the top show, sports show on YouTube, was averaging about 300,000 viewers per episode, right? So the modern athlete doesn't want a contract. They don't want endorsement deals. They want equity and collaboration. People may feel like this move that Gil did was not smart, but watch Gil work. Thus far, he has laid a plan out for the industry to follow. And you see everybody else and their mama, no matter what spot they had on the bench, that's no shade, has a podcast now. and is trying to mirror what Gil has set up. Cameron and Mace, they talked to Gil. They have the same deal with the other people. The young lady Stat that started off as the moderator, she got $1 million too. We got a phone call real quick. Eric, welcome in. Eric from Carson, shout out to you.
Hey, Jill, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? You know it's at the end, so run it up. What's going on your mind tonight? What's on your mind tonight, rather?
I just wanted to chime in real quick on Kevin McCall. I work for the state of California, and his mom was my supervisor. And so while I don't know him, I know he comes from good stock. And so I just can't understand how where he's coming from. But, I just say this. Trump is thinking of taking EB cards next month, or, because of the government shutdown. So I'd rather have an EBT card than not have one. So maybe he should just think about it in a positive way.
Yeah, I know that's right. It was a lot of people in the comments saying, I'm looking for one. I'll take it. Listen, exactly. The groceries things are high. Go ahead.
So all I'll say in conclusion is that maybe he just needs to revamp. If you can buy your mom a house, maybe you should have bought you and your mama house together instead of buying your mama house if money was an issue. Just saying.
All right. Thanks for your call, Eric. Listen, thank you guys for locking in. I got one more thing to say about Gilbert Arenas, right? And the positioning of athletes in this media space, right? Like I said, I don't think Gil lost the bag. I think he repositioned and set himself up nicely to continue making it. Yes, he could have taken on 100% of the cost, but who wants to do all that work, right? Right. So he wasn't really using the YouTube channel when they came along, right? $3 million per month. That's how much Gil says the channel, $3 million per year. That's how much, $3 to $4 million, the channel earns. So Gil gets half of that and still has other YouTubers and gets paid. Sounds like good money to me. Listen, thank you guys for locking in. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. As always, appreciate it. Coming up next is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. He's going to hit you in the head with a bunch. So stay tuned for that.
I just want to see you. Pants, shirt, you can take it off. Panties, bra, you can take it off. Red bottom heels, you can take them. Wait, leave them on, cause I like my woman tall. You got a hot mama, you're hotter than the sauna. I wanna put them clothes off your body like a banana. The only reason I dress you in that designer is to get you out that Dolce & Gabbana. I throw this money up, she watch it all fall. Shoot that thing up. Anything you want, and baby, you can have it all. Starting with my last name, now they call you Mr. Claus. Right now, cause it's late, babe.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. House Speaker Mike Johnson is condemning death threats against Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, saying anyone making such threats should face full justice. New York police